Okay, so I'd like to call to attention the meeting for the Franklin Conservation Commission for June 27th, 2024. I'd also like to point out that if anybody wishes to record the meeting, we actually are doing so, both video and audio, but if anyone wants to do that independently, either in the audience or online, please let us know. Thank you. I will take a roll call, as I always forget.
Richard Johnson's here.
Michael Ryan's here.
Mark LePage here.
Jeff Livingstone.
Jeff Milne.
Roger Trahan.
Nicole Sharamonte.
Thank you very much. And before I open up the first meeting, I just want to say a warm welcome to Troop 99. Thank you very much. They have come to watch all the fireworks. You thought civil government was boring. Well, anyway, thank you very much for coming. And if you have any questions afterwards, for anything that went on tonight, please come up and ask. We're more than happy to share any information that we can. So without further ado, I'll open up the first meeting, which is the NOI for 15 Liberty Way. I believe we do have a recommendation here to close, yes? Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like me
Well,
to
this is-
expand on that?
This is Goddard. I'd like to speak on the matter.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's fine. Would you like him to speak?
Go ahead if you want, please.
Yes, please, thank you. So Scott Goddard, Goddard Consulting, representing the applicant in this case.
Yep.
We've been through a nice long process on this project. After much debate and discussion, we were very excited to recently submit a revised package to the commission that have substantially reduced the overall scope and size of this project, reducing all the work within even the isolated features, the stormwater features on the site, to remove the sort of debate that was ongoing. My understanding from Bricolai is that there may be some quorum issues to present the project ongoing. So we could either, I'm opening it up to the conversation of the commission, so we could either present the revised information for your review that was already submitted, via digitally to the commission earlier, or we could discuss if we need to re-advertise the public hearing so that we don't have any quorum issues. But we are seeking an opportunity for the commission to deliberate and vote on the new package. Whether that can happen tonight or not, I guess we should discuss.
Okay, so for the people in the audience, this is an interesting first hearing because we are running into what we would call quorum issues. So there are some rules that have been set aside. This is just for general information by the state and by the local. So please understand you have at least two sets of rules that the Conservation Commission has to abide by. You have the state rules, state laws, and then you also have what we call bylaws, which are additional laws that the town has. And really the golden rule is that you can apply rules that are more stringent than the state, but you can't apply, if you're the town, you can't apply rules that are less stringent, which of course makes sense. If you want to do something a little more stringent, then you can, but you can't underpin or undo what the state has already done. So there are two things that the state has said. One is that they have suggested that the towns have bylaws in which a majority of the commissioners, that is, or a quorum, we'll call it a quorum is defined as the majority of the sitting commissioners. So we have 7. Typically, Franklin has 7. So in order to vote on things, we have to have at least 4 members present. But there's an additional important thing that up until 2006 was true, which was if anyone missed a meeting, was not here for a meeting in which there was substantial discussion had on a specific project in a specific hearing, then that person would have to be recused from henceforth from voting. That led to a lot of problems, obviously, because these are volunteers, right? They have personal lives. So you have one person, or maybe a couple people, or 2 people, or 3 people, multiple people that would basically lose one meeting, and before you knew it, there's no way that you could ever have quorum because you basically have lost the majority of your commissioners. So in 2006, Governor Baker, I believe it was Governor Baker, passed a law called the Mullen Rule. And the Mullen Rule states that if a member misses one meeting, they have the ability to go back and review the transcripts and the video from that meeting and then sign a document saying, I have actually, authentically reviewed the material, I'm familiar with the material, I'm good. That would essentially reinstate their ability to vote. So, but that's only true for one meeting. If the member misses more than one meeting, the Mullen Rule does not apply. So basically it allowed the towns to a little more flexibility for people that missed one meeting. Now, in this case, 15 Liberty Way, this hearing, this meeting or project has gone on for a very long time. I think it's a year?
It's March of last year.
March of last year. So over that very long time, right, we've had multiple people out for multiple times. So if we actually take a poll right now, we find that there are actually four members who actually could cast a vote on anything being decided on this project right now because of that long time and people coming out. And of those four, right, we've had two people that have been out 2 meetings. We've had one person that's been out 3 meetings, and we have one person that's no longer longer capable to vote. So basically, we've lost all we've lost all capacity to achieve any quorum for this vote. So basically, our hands are tied. We cannot vote on this. We cannot vote on this project, and the Mullen Rule no longer applies because the individual commissioners have missed more than one meeting. So we don't usually run into this, but sometimes we do. And as a warning, a general warning, that we do give often to people, it's really important to try to get projects in, try to get information into the commission, try to get the requests for information and for additions and changes to the commission as soon as possible, such that things don't drag on and on and on and on, and you run into these kinds of quorum issues. And it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So when that has happened, the commission legally has no power to vote on the project anymore. They cannot. So the only thing they can do is essentially close the hearing legally. That's the only thing they can do. And then what the applicant does at that point in time is really up to them. But classically, legally, by the book, they would have to essentially start all over, which means that any fees, filing fees and whatnot, that they had done, any plans, et cetera, that they had done, essentially all of that goes away, and they have to start the project as if they're starting the project right away. So that is indeed the situation we have with this project in front of us right now, this hearing 15 Liberty Way, because they have taken a year, and unfortunately the number of people are gone, and we simply don't have a quorum, and we can't legally vote. So the only thing we can do is close the hearing. So the question then, of course, is what can the applicant do? So you can basically ask the applicant to do one of 2 things. You can ask them to do a complete and total restart, right? Which means they would have to pay the less than $2,000 worth of filing fees, et cetera, in this particular project. And they have to basically notify the abutters. They have to submit any revised plans, which they have actually already gone to the trouble of making, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, we actually asked the DEP for some guidance. And their suggestion was, to be transparent, was close a meeting, then basically reopen another meeting, have the applicant refile with the new plans, notify the DEP person that essentially was the one who signs, the DEP assigns numbers to projects so that at least they know what's going on, that is a same project but being refiled, and then basically have them re-notify the abutters and go through that things. Now, whether we decide as a group, that they should pay to refile or not is up to us. There's no rule, right? So I'm going to leave that as a discussion for this commission.
You know, I'd wonder, I mean, I don't know, this is the only time I can recall it happening in the last couple of years. If it's not that often, we're not setting a huge precedent, I'd be inclined to waive the fees, but.
Okay,
Likewise.
okay,
I
Yeah.
don't think, I mean, there's no sense to do so, would be just punishing somebody.
right.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of what I was.
we don't need to do that.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Is everybody fine? Right. So Scott, that
Yes.
is the suggestion from the DEP, and that is what we are suggesting, that basically we simply close the hearing and you guys basically just refile. We're not going to assess any additional fees. And you re-notify the abutters, and essentially we carry on under a new, I'm assuming it would be the same file number?
It'd be the same DEP number,
The same,
yes.
same file number, right?
But
and-
we, sorry.
Go ahead.
We will need to post a new legal ad, that's
Right.
at their expense,
Right.
right? That'll need to circulate for the correct number of days per bylaw and the Wetlands Protection Act. You'll have to re-notify abutters, and then you'll have to reopen the hearing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So that is what we're proposing.
Yeah, I think, I think that's reasonable, and, we're happy to work with the commission on the administrative part of the juggling around. I, appreciate the motion of not assessing additional fees. There's, other ways I've seen this handled, and I have seen it happen a few times. One, it is a complete representation of the project as if from the beginning, so as to not have any missing information, so kind of like a fresh start without going through the filing part of it. That I've seen happen a number of times. Another way that I've seen it happen is just simply like pausing the process without per se closing and reopening, and just calling for a new public notice and a new abutter notification. So those are two other workarounds that I have seen commissions do successfully over the last few years. So if either of those appeals to the commission, I would just throw that out there as options as well.
But see, remember, Scott, you have, the issue is quorum because of time. You need to close this.
Yes.
You need to open up something new. We need to close because, nobody can vote. So it doesn't matter. You don't want to leave this open. There's no point in it. There's no point in leaving it open. We have to close.
Well, I understand what you're saying. My only point was that if it could be, I think, and maybe I could be wrong about that it could be left open, but that you kind of wipe out the Mullen Rule application if you represent the whole project. But I'll defer to the commission, and however you'd like to handle it, we'll be happy to
Yeah.
oblige.
My opinion is no. No. My opinion is we have to start with another hearing from beginning, and that what's being presented are the new plans that you have just revised.
I
So
think
that's
we
what's
also,
okay.
we also get some direction from TEP, like you said, right?
Well,
So-
that's basically what that is, what they're telling
Yeah,
us
yeah,
to
so
do.
we're kind of bound by that.
And town
Yep.
council,
Right? Oh, and town council,
I
yes.
mean,
True.
it's all been vetted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're good. Yeah, let's proceed with that, and then we'll refile and pick this back up again.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, then, before I say anything else, is there anybody in the audience or anybody online that has any questions or comments about this particular hearing or project? Okay, I'll take a motion to close.
I'll give you a motion to close the NOI in 15 Liberty Way.
Second.
Okay.
Vote to close.
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 Close,
Close.
Close.
okay, closed. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Onward.
Okay. Okay, next is the Beaver Pond hydro raking. And I believe that we got some information, right?
Yeah, after speaking internally, the request is just to close and deny due to lack of information, so they can refile at a
Okay.
later date.
All right, and they're just gonna wait, right?
Yes.
Because it's too late, it's really too late to,
Yeah.
in this season, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, so just for the scouts, this was a project where, we have Beaver Pond, you probably know, it's a beautiful swimming spot. Unfortunately, we have invasive species that are inside the pond, and they sort of take over, and it kind of makes it really yucky for anybody who wants to swim
Plants,
in
by
it.
the way, not like,
Well, I know,
I'm just joking.
I know,
Not like aliens.
No.
Lampreys,
What?
lampreys.
Okay, well,
There are no lampreys in Beaver Pond, I'm being
What?
facetious.
What are you doing? You're gonna scare the kids. What are you doing? No one's gonna go in there forever.
I'm sorry, I grew up in Lake Superior. They're
Yeah, yes,
everywhere.
that I
So
know.
that's-
That, I have dove in that. I
Yes.
know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so plants. Okay, anyway, so, the rec department wanted to simply get rid of them, right? I mean, obviously. The problem is that it's a protected water body under conservation. So you can't just go in and like start dredging stuff. There's a certain process you have to follow and certain state agencies that you have to contact and you have to get their approval first. The problem is that takes a long time to do. So if you want to do something like that, historically, you have to start probably a year in advance. Otherwise, you're not going to get to the point where everything's done by the time you need to do it, such that you can then open up the swimming hole and have a free lake. I mean, a lake that everybody actually wants to, or a pond that everybody actually wants to swim in. That was the dilemma that we had. So the process was started very late. We tried to push it through. There's no way we can. And so the decision is being made by the rec department, just, okay, well then, fine, we'll stop for now, and then we'll start again once we have set everything up in process, and we'll start much earlier next time. So that is the result of this, this hearing here being what apparently we're gonna do is close it. So, just to give you some background.
good count.
Okay.
So
So,
I'll give you a motion.
wait.
Nope.
Is there anyone,
Oh, sorry.
anyone in the audience or online that has any questions or comments about this project? Okay, now,
Give you a motion to close the NOI and Beaver Pond hydro raking.
Second,
okay.
vote to close.
Close?
Close.
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 Abstain?
Okay, close, thank you.
And then we got to vote to deny too.
Well, yes, I guess we do, because we are in quorum, that's right, so I'll take a,
I'll give you a motion to deny the NOI on the Beaver Pond hydro raking.
due to lack of information.
Due to lack of information.
Second,
Okay, Judge?
so
Deny?
close,
Deny?
deny,
Vote to deny.
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 Deny?
deny.
Abstain?
Okay, denied. Thank you very much. Okay, now we go on to the third hearing that we're opening for the NOI for Tri-County Regional Vocational and Technical High School. And, please.
Good evening. Steve Powers, Samiotis Consultants for the Civil Engineers for the
Steve.
project. Good to see everyone again. So we are, did you want to give a note?
Scroll down. It's loading the 11 by 17s.
It's
Yeah,
a large
take a
file.
minute. There it is.
Maybe go to the,
Lots of
That looks like a Gantt chart. I know what that is.
yeah, I know. There's a lot going on. That's it, that's great, that's fine. So we wanted to give a brief update, and then the main reason we're here is to address what's on the screen here. So we're currently under review. We've had 2 peer reviews by the town peer reviewer Beta. We were planning on resubmitting, addressing that second review today. There were a couple items that were left open-ended, so we wanted to make sure it was as comprehensive as possible. So we are planning on resubmitting tomorrow.
Okay.
I believe the school paid the
Yes,
the check
yeah,
you
yep.
received today? Okay,
Yep.
so they can continue with their review.
Okay.
So obviously, this is a large, complicated site. We've gotten a lot of good comments, good feedback from both the town, Bricolai, as well as Beta. We've worked diligently to address those comments to the greatest extent possible on this site. So and the main reason we're here is we did contact, the project team did contact the building commissioner about the potential of doing some site enabling work, some initial work associated with the project. And obviously, as this entire project is under review by the Conservation Commission, we wanted to make sure that we came in and addressed this to answer questions, get thoughts, and obviously some level of permission to move forward. So 2 things that we are requesting to do, and I do want to stress that what we are requesting is outside jurisdictional areas in the sense that we're trying to contain work outside of buffer zones. We do realize all of this is connected and related to the project as a whole. So the two main things that we're asking and looking to do, and this is represented in the submission package in front of you now, is one, when we started this project, we did some initial hydrant testing to really see what the water flows were to the site. We found them because of the higher elevation of the existing school and then further higher elevation where we're proposing the new school. The pressure and volume and really the size of the pipe is a little bit inadequate. So we've worked with the fire hydrant and we've worked with the fire department to come up with a solution that would essentially increase flows to the site, better protecting the site throughout construction and post-development. So
Is it just a matter of just enlarging the pipe that
Yes.
feeds?
yes,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
we can you go? Might as well discuss this. So the reason why we're doing this is we're looking to install a 12-inch pipe. It's currently an 8-inch running up Tri-County. We're leaving the 8-inch in place.
I think
The
there's a part on that that shows the pipe, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
you gotta
Yes.
scroll down
I
to
think
the
you might be.
entrance.
Yeah. If you
Oh, you
scroll
mean to
pan
say.
down on that.
Yes, yeah, to the bottom of the site. The bottom, yeah, there you go.
No.
That long, yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah. So this is twofold. One of the reasons is obviously to increase flows to the site and get this installed. The other is with the students being out on summer break, we wanted to do the work necessary within Tri-County Drive to avoid
Oh, right.
traffic issues.
Yep.
And also, there's ongoing projects in Old West Central Street,
Yeah.
Yes.
and they are looking to repave,
Oh, that's
final
right.
pave
Well,
relatively soon.
and you want to do this before they do repave, yeah.
We do.
Right,
Um,
that makes sense.
The
Mhm.
town, town departments were very anxious for us to do this if we are going to do it.
Right.
And that is another approval process. We're permitting it through them. But
So are
obviously,
you guys basically taking out the old pipe, putting in a big one?
He's gonna leave it.
we're going to leave it in place.
Oh, you're gonna leave it?
Yes, because as this is a 2 to 3 year construction project, we want to make sure that there's still flow to the site,
Oh, yeah.
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Okay.
before we hook it up. So we want to make
Yeah,
sure
okay.
as it opens
Yep.
So
back
you're
up.
putting the new 12-inch alongside
Correct.
the 8 and then leaving it until you hook it up later on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
stopping there because if
Okay.
we proceed any further up that emergency access road, then we start to get into jurisdictional areas.
Right.
Okay.
So we wanted to get it connected to the main in Old West Central, stop it there
Yeah.
And then-
to get out of
yeah,
Tri-County Drive.
You get out of the
Yeah.
road, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
You can work like a gentleman up there.
That makes total sense, yeah.
And then obviously, this is all part of the current application in front of you, the full development site.
Good idea.
The second site enabling is, if you could pan further up, back to where you were, is the expansion of the southwest parking area. That's fine, right in that area there. So we're looking to approximately double the size of that parking. We're expanding to the north, away from the jurisdictional wetlands, which are to the south and east. The reason for that is if and when we do get this approved, fully approved, the building is going in an area where, one, there's the solar farm that I think everyone is familiar with, but there's also staff and student parking behind the school. So as part of the construction phasing, we're looking to completely segregate that area out to have all the construction traffic, vehicles, work, all taking place within the building area. So that will remove parking. So we're trying to do this again with the students and staff being on break, so that when they do come back, they do have an area to park, which will be temporary parking, eventually turned into permanent parking.
So what's there now?
There is if you could go to
Field.
the parking, there's a smaller parking lot before that. Just the next sheet.
So what we see underneath the purple is existing, and then you're just expanding it.
So what you're seeing now is the proposed.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna pan up to what's
Got it.
existing now so you can see
Okay.
the full area. it's a large document, so I apologize for that, but it's the best way to show it,
No, that's
so. Go one more up.
Okay.
That's it. If you could zoom into that blue area.
Oh,
He's gonna bust out a bunch of curb in the median and put in a bigger parking lot.
Right.
Okay.
So that's an existing parking lot there. Now, we're looking to expand that to the north.
got it.
Um,
Yep.
So those are the two main areas. Again, being mindful that we don't have full approval. We are trying to stay outside of local jurisdictional areas. And, you know, part of what we are proposing, we did detail out in the letter to the commission. Erosion sediment control, everything would be in place
Right.
beforehand. We have not approved anything yet. The contractor continues to send submittals and things, but obviously this is important to address with the commission first.
So, I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense.
It makes a
Total
brilliant
sense.
idea.
Yeah. it makes
Should
total
do
sense,
it,
right?
should go right ahead with
Yeah,
it.
I mean, classically, because it's part of a project, unbelievable, we basically would have an order of conditions, you know, on this, but basically they've written their own, you know, knowing what we do.
I mean, you got a complete set of contract documents for your contractor, right? That specifies how you're excavating, you're putting in your curbing, you're putting in your paving.
Correct, yes.
Right, so,
And, yeah,
yeah.
as long as he keeps, you know, erosion control in place,
Right,
Yeah, that was the only.
I don't have any problem.
Yeah.
But that's number 3, is erosion control,
right.
so. Yeah, I think that's what you should do. I mean, the kids are out, you got
Yeah,
access.
I agree, no, I agree.
You
Yeah.
can, you know, you're just getting a little bit ahead of the game, and why not?
Agree with that.
Guys, you agree? Okay, go.
Yep, just for a little bit more information, so obviously erosion control has to be installed first. We also have a pre-construction meeting scheduled for July 8th. I wasn't sure if that had gone down the pipeline, no pun intended. So we will be meeting with the water superintendent and town engineer, myself, building commissioner, and town planner for a pre-con. So internally we've spoken, and civil work can occur as far as erosion controls, things like mobilizations, stockpiling, but no actual work can occur until after that pre-con.
Yes.
I think we're good.
Agreed.
I'm good.
So, I guess the question is, pretty good. So this is part of
An NOI,
Right,
right?
NOI.
Yes.
So do you just vote on the part of the,
I would,
Yeah, how do we
I would
vote
give
on
a
it?
verbal approval.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a vote,
Okay.
because you're not having them refile like an
Okay.
RDA or anything
right,
like that.
okay, right.
So I would just
Maybe
give
like a
verbal
roll
approval.
call approval
Yeah,
vote?
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
roll call approval, okay, go.
I'm good. I
Okay.
approve.
Approve.
Good with that?
I am too,
Approve.
I'm too.
Approve.
Good idea.
Approve.
Okay, good. So, yeah, so we're good with it.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Steve.
So-
Really appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you coming in and explaining it.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thank you.
And we appreciate
Right.
you all.
So, and just for the scouts, so please remember that conservation is trying to protect, they basically are protecting the wetlands, the water bodies, things of this nature. But you have two instances where sometimes you have to weigh, what you are legally bound to do, what your mission is against, what the town wants to do. And things like this, where obviously like timing is important, right? Clearly you want to do work when the students aren't there. If you try to do this kind of work, right, I mean,
Traffic coming in and
it would
out
be
of there
just,
in the-
it would be horrific, right? It would be really disruptive, terrible for the students. No, okay? That's number one. The second area is public safety. So, for example, if somebody wants to do something and there's some, like, something's about to blow up or something's about to fall on someone or there's a building supposed to fall down or something like this, you really can't wait for this entire approval process to happen. Someone could get hurt or killed, right? So those are the kinds of things that the commission has to weigh. So it's not always black and white, right? Like some would think, it's just not. You have to take the public safety and logistics, just practical logistics into consideration often when you are making these kinds of rulings. Okay?
Well, thanks again.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Steve.
Steve?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, That's 3. Good.
You have to vote to continue.
Oh, sorry, vote to
Oh,
continue,
yeah,
right?
good point.
Sorry, thank you.
So I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for Tri-County Regional Vocational Technical High School till July 11th at 7:01.
Second, vote to continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue,
Continue. Continue.
Continue.
continued. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and then we go to the next one. 4. Okay. And so I'd like to open up the meeting for the NOI for Veterans Memorial Drive.
Request for continuance from the applicant.
Okay. Is there anyone here from Memorial Drive that wants to say anything? You don't have to. Okay. Is there anyone online or in the audience? I didn't ask that about, unfortunately, about, that has any comments? Okay, no? So I'll take a motion to continue.
Give you a motion to continue the NOI for Veterans Memorial Drive to July 11th at 7:02.
Second, vote to continue.
Continue?
Vote to continue.
Continue?
Continue. Continue.
Continue.
Continue, thank you. Go to the next meeting, which is for an ANRAD for 55 Constitution Boulevard. Is there anyone here for 55 Constitution Boulevard?
No, they continued only because we received beta peer review earlier this week, very administrative, minor details. The applicant did respond yesterday, and then I said just because of procedure and delivery of these peer reviews and then the response, that you'd likely continue for,
Okay,
to allow one more time for your sufficient review.
okay, that's fine, that's fine. Is there anyone in the audience or online that has any questions or comments about 55 Constitution? Okay. And just for the scouts, so we throw this acronym ANRAD, A-N-R-A-D, around, right? So essentially what happens is that if you have a site upon which you want to build or modify, et cetera, one of the first things you have to do, and you do have some sort of features that are protected by the Act, and that the Conservation Commission is imbued to, or trusted to protect. You need to map those out. You need to find out where they actually are. So you basically need to work with wetland scientists, surveyors, et cetera, and actually provide a map of what is on site and where they are. And that is essentially called an ANRAD. It's basically a map of all those resources. And so what you have to do is you have to come in and submit the ANRAD, the map, and you have to get approval that that is actually the map. So there's official approval, yes, this is a correct and accurate determination of where everything is and what it is, before you start proceeding with your work, or actually submit your plans. Because then you basically think about it, if you're going to start putting like buildings on site and stuff like that, you obviously can't build inside all these protected properties. So you have to like essentially orient your buildings and such around. So basically you need to, we all need to essentially agree on what the boundaries are first, before the architects go in and then actually start moving buildings around on the site to find out where they're supposed to be, right? That makes sense. So the ANRAD process is the first part of the process of trying to get a plan approved in front of the commission. Okay? Did I say anything wrong?
No?
Good. Amazing, okay. Okay,
So they just got these comments and they're looking at them, the applicants?
Beta responded back with our comments on Monday or Tuesday. The applicant responded back to Beta yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It's very minor, but because of the quick turnaround, and typically we prefer responses to be a little bit,
Could I just ask
not the
about
day before.
the one comment on the stream flowing through the concrete reinforced pipe?
Yeah, I would include that on an ORAD.
Okay.
Yeah, so even though they're not seeking confirmation of that, it would be unwise for the commission not to know what resources are on.
Seemed like a pretty big.
right.
Yeah.
So that, I skimmed right over that. I'm still gonna include it.
Okay.
So, and so again, for the scouts, so we keep using this word Beta. Beta is an organization, it's a private, it's a separate company, basically. So they do third-party review of plans and sites, et cetera. So typically, we go to them to get their feedback on something that the applicant has submitted. That's all they are. An independent contractor that reviews plans and such. Okay. Yep. All right, so I'll take a motion.
All right, so give you a motion to continue the ANRAD on 55 Constitution Boulevard till July 11th at 7:03.
Second, vote to continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue?
Continue.
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 Continue. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it for the meetings. We worked right through that. Okay. Now we are into the general business section. These are not hearings. So we have what we call minor buffer zone activities. So these don't rise to the level of like an entire hearing and all the different forms and submittals that you have to do. They're sort of like something more minor that we can deal with on a I would say a curtailed administrative basis. So the first one is 11 Mount Street.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good evening.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Greg Surdy, 11 Mount Street. I have a property that's heavily affected by invasive species that I'm hoping to restore and renovate and make it better. So remove all the invasives, rehab it, and replant with appropriate native species. That's what I'm looking to do.
Okay.
So right there is the site. I just broke it down into sections because I thought that would be a better way to handle it. A would be the first site that I'd want to work on. That's a very small area. It's closest to the road, easily accessible. 3 out of the 3 sides of it are the wetlands and buffer zones have been completely disturbed. So I would kind of like to take that part right there. It's about 70 by 60 square. And I would like to basically clear all of that. I guess you can't really see where the lines are. That is in buffer zone areas. It's not in actual wetlands.
Okay.
So I'd like to take that small area right there and clear it and make a small orchard and blueberry patch, and that's what I want to do there. Areas B, lightly infested with multiflora rose and some oriental bittersweet. It has a lot of wetlands in it. C, heavily infested. It's impassable with multiflora rose. The other issue I'm having with areas A and C, and if you go farther down to D, a lot of dead ash trees from emerald ash borers. There's about 150 dead ash trees that are now falling willy-nilly, and it's a safety hazard. So I want to take those trees down as well and replant with, again, appropriate native species that will survive and not be affected by natives. Area F, I've already done this rehab to, I think 4 or 5 years ago. So just saying I've already done this once. And if you scroll down to Area E, that's right alongside the road, there's really not much that needs to be done there in Area E.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know how much detail you want. I wrote it all out. Do you have questions? Did I present myself well enough? And
What are you
covered
gonna do with all the dead ash trees?
Firewood. Heat my house with wood.
Good
So,
idea. A lot of
yeah.
chopping, but
Yeah, so in Area F, I took down about 30 trees and got about 8 cords of wood, so,
Wow.
yeah.
There you go.
The branches and limbs, I ran through a chipper and used them for mulch around the property as well, so.
okay.
So-
Good idea to me.
So, Brigola, I think you had some suggestions about some
Yeah.
things,
Yeah,
guidances?
Just some conditions, if you will,
Sure.
and then it provides you kind of like a launching point and a framework of
Absolutely, yeah.
expectations. So it'd be standard MBZA conditions, which is just you have to notify me when you're starting, notify me when you're finished, which I talk to you in a couple years.
Yeah.
Then, if you're removing any trees, stumps have to be left in place, which you're not really removing mature trees, right? You're removing either felled trees, diseased trees, or the multiflora rose.
Yeah, the
which-
only area where I want to remove stumps was in Area A. Everywhere else
That's fine. You
is,
can just exclude A.
yeah, exclude A.
Zone
Every-
A
The rest of
from
it, I'm just gonna
Okay.
cut them down low and leave them. There's no reason to remove the stumps. Let them rot in place, and yeah, there's no reason to remove stumps.
And then, I would file your RDA only for removing the ash trees from the wetland.
Okay.
But we did discuss herbicide treatments in the wetland,
Yes.
and I'm assuming you're not doing that anymore.
I don't want to use them in the wetlands, but would it be for things like Oriental Bittersweet and Multiflora Rose? I'm not sure. The Oriental Bittersweet is very aggressive, cutting it back, cutting it back, cutting it back. It just seems to keep coming. So I think,
Kill it.
Pardon?
Kill it.
Yeah, I want to kill it by whatever means possible, but again, my intention is to restore and keep my land healthy, so it's not, you know, blanket spraying of herbicides, it's more like cut down low, brush the
Yeah, I
end
mean,
with-
that's typically, yeah,
Part- yeah.
what you do, yeah,
Yeah, so it would be specific plant, individual plant treatment with herbicides of whatever you would recommend or say that I can or cannot use, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
yeah, sure.
And that would only be in the buffer zones because I shouldn't be doing that in the wetlands, right?
Yes.
Within, okay.
And
So-
it would be pure glyphosate, just don't get it from Monsanto.
From where?
Monsanto, don't get it from there.
Don't they have bad glyphosate?
They're gonna find me now on Franklin TV, but yeah, go
Okay.
find some other brand.
Find another brand of glyphosate. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll
Glyphosate.
use glyphosate. Oriental Bittersweet is somewhat resistant to it, but if you just keep hitting it with it, I'm assuming it will
Yeah.
eventually die back.
Yes, and then we did talk about capping,
Yeah.
the treatment spot. So usually you suggested Dixie cups.
I was actually thinking finger cuts.
Oh, you could do that. That'd be
Yeah.
fine. Or like moleskin even would be good. I've seen
Yeah.
people do balloons, but I wouldn't suggest putting balloons out there.
Yeah.
And just for the commissioner's knowledge, you do that because things will still likely land on it.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's
I see.
just a
You don't
little
want them
thing that you can
landing and
do.
moving
Yeah,
them.
it's just a
Yep,
little
yep,
thing that you
yep,
can do.
yep, Yep, it's true,
Um,
yep.
So, I don't mean to steal the show, but if the
No.
commission would like me to read through the
Yeah,
conditions
would
or
you do
continue
that?
reading through, yes.
Go ahead.
Question, how do we know where the wetlands are?
They're marked on the map there, they just aren't showing up well.
He
I've
has,
had a wetland survey done, I think, 4 or 5 years ago.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why I have that 25-foot, 50, and 100-foot buffer zones that
Yeah.
you can see on this screen, just not on that screen. So
Right,
they're
okay.
demarcated. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
see them now.
Yeah, okay.
So you have
Yeah.
blue is wetlands, red is 25, yellow is 50, green is 100.
Okay, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Have they changed much in the last 5 years, would you say?
No,
No, I have been out there.
Oh, you have, okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Is area A right alongside your driveway?
It's right,
Driveway in Mount Street?
yes.
Okay.
It's right alongside my driveway, and if you go up to, back up to A, yeah,
Oh, that's fine, I
yeah.
know where your house is.
You know where my house is, all right. Right across from the big red barn. Yeah, it's right alongside the driveway, and north of that is lawn, and to the left of it, between A and B, that's also lawn. So that's all been disturbed anyway. So it makes sense, like, this would be the best place to put, yeah. I kinda want what you have, you know? My beehives, with all the orchard in it. I drive
yeah.
past your house and go, I want that. One
Do
of
your
those.
house hold a pool in the backyard?
Pardon?
Do you have a pool in your backyard?
Yes, I do.
I know the people that lived there before you, I
The
guess.
Williamsons?
Yes,
It's very nice people. I
Yeah,
still talk
yeah.
with them every now and then about the house, and we keep in touch.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Well, then you know the property, and
I do.
excellent.
It's a nice piece of property.
Thank you. I want to make it nicer. Again, that's my intention.
And we recommend you for doing that. That's very
Thank you.
good. Something we should encourage.
Thank you.
Bree, would you like to read through the
Sure.
suggestion, the suggestion?
Okay. Suggestions, right?
so we had this standard MBZA conditions, and then, these are additional conditions for your knowledge, also because you're filing an RDA, and the RDA is going to include all the work, so it's also my way to communicate back to DEP, like, we have a handle on it, we know scope of work, we understand
Okay.
impacts, this is how we're mitigating it, if you will. So, this would be 5, condition 5. The applicant shall only apply herbicidal treatment outside of the bordering vegetated wetland and only to invasive vegetation species. The applicant, shall avoid herbicidal treatment early in the growing season and only apply when weather conditions are appropriate, i.e. dry weather or calm winds, and application rate should remain consistent with the recommended rate for the product. Should the applicant need to treat earlier in the growing season, the applicant shall immediately contact the conservation agent. The applicant shall provide seasonal reports. April through October is the season. On the status of the restoration project, including timeline of events, vegetation removal status of revegetated species, etc. Pausing from reading the conditions, this can be an email. Just send me a couple photos. Let me know how it's going.
Sure.
Resuming, the applicant shall not install any structures within the intermittent stream or bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant shall not utilize the bordering vegetated wetland for any agricultural use such as goat and or chicken grazing. Sorry. The applicant shall revegetate the buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland and banked intermittent stream to 75% coverage of native species. Pausing here, that's a requirement under the state. So I just mirrored what that is. You'll likely have that anyways by the time that you're done.
Okay. Back up to the one, so I can't use animals in the buffer zones?
In the wetland.
Okay, fine, I don't
Yep.
have to put them in there.
Yep,
Right.
not in the wetland, in the
Because
buffer
that was
zone
part of
instead.
the process, was to fence off those little
Yep.
areas with an electric fence and, you know, the buffer regions, and have
Yep.
the goats go to work and chickens, and they
Yep.
do a great job clearing
Yep.
brush.
That's totally fine, just not in the actual wetland.
And repopulate with 75%, you said?
Up to to 75% coverage.
Okay.
So that could be with trees, herbaceous vegetation,
Oh, that
vines.
happens on its own.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I thought you meant I had to plant that many
Uh-uh.
stuff.
Nope.
Alright, okay.
All right, at no given time, or presuming, at no given time shall the applicant leave any portion of the buffer zone with no vegetative coverage exposed to erosion. During times of vegetative removal, the applicant shall cover exposed soils with jute mesh until revegetation has been achieved. That's only if it has no vegetation, so parcel it out, right? Plan it, so start,
There shouldn't be
rotate.
any regions that have no vegetation at all,
Perfect.
because I'm gonna be selectively removing things.
Perfect,
I'm not clear cutting, no clear cutting.
perfect.
Okay.
Well, even with the goats, so make sure
Right.
that,
Well, they only cut down below 4 feet. Everything goes up
Perfect.
higher, that is fine.
perfect.
Okay.
Resuming, the applicant shall install erosion/sedimentation controls approximately 3 feet from the boundary of the bordering vegetated wetland. This is to prevent erosion/sedimentation during work in upland buffer zone, but also ensure line of sight of the wetland boundary for the applicant. The erosion/sedimentation line must be approved by the conservation agent and or commission prior to the start of work. Pausing here again. Oh, Judith is going to be so mad at me. She's our minute taker. What I would suggest for you is either getting some stakes and just painting them orange, right? Or getting pin flags, or you can even get burlap and roll it up. The commission you can discuss after I read these other erosion and sedimentation control options. Resuming here, the applicant shall not stockpile removed invasive species within the buffer zone, and all invasive species shall be properly disposed of. Burn it, that's fine. The applicant shall only access within the bordering vegetated wetland by foot and may only use hand tools to remove invasive species and or felled diseased elm trees. At no time shall the applicant remove hydric soils from the bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant may use light machinery within the buffer zone and must backfill and vegetate any rutting that occurs. Use of pallets, particle board, or like object to facilitate access within the buffer zone is preferred. So that's just putting something under your wheels.
Yep.
And those are my recommendations for
Have you
conditions.
explored erosion sediment controls at all?
When I did when I did area E, I think it was, yeah, I put in some wattles,
Okay,
just rolled wattles, stick them into place, and,
perfect. So if you could use, you good using those again?
yeah,
Yep.
you know, big tube of hay, and
Perfect.
just staked it into
Yeah.
place, and that's what I did.
All right,
So
great.
do the same thing here, right?
Yes.
Along the wetlands,
Yep.
along the wetland boundaries.
Yep.
Yes,
Thank you. Okay.
I can do that, and I have you come and look at that, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said and or commission. Commissioner's note, I'm on vacation next week, so if there's any one of you that would like to go out and verify, the wetland's pretty distinct, so.
Roger, you sound like you live pretty close.
I am, but I'm on vacation next week as well.
Okay.
I'm on vacation the 11th, so,
Are you gonna have them in place next week?
I might be able to have some stuff in place next week.
If
Get
you
some-
have them in place, I can come out the week of the 8th.
Yeah,
I just walk it.
yeah, I don't need to,
I mean, I could go out on the 3rd if you need, but that might be too quick, so,
Well, if I'm back, I mean, I can go.
rock and roll.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with area A, if you could roll up again. So in area A, there's no wetlands in that area.
Mhm.
So where would I put wattles? Just put them along that southwest side between B and C?
Yes, exactly,
Okay.
Yeah.
If I
Put them
can,
at the base of a hill.
exactly. Toe of slope.
because to be fair, you can't even get to the wetland in area C. You can't get there.
Then you're good.
You can't, there's areas where you just can't,
Got it.
you can't get into it.
We
It's-
okay with that?
It's multi-flora rows up to
Gotcha.
here, and
Oh.
I can't get, I'm not going in there.
You could always just
Put them
wait
in when
until
there's a
he
purpose
gets-
to it. Don't put them
Yeah,
in just for
exactly.
greens.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
fine.
You
You
wouldn't
just-
believe how many
Once you get to that
projects I've been on
point,
that
let
they
me
say,
know.
"Oh, run it down there." Well, hell, it's on the upslope with the,
Yeah, okay, I'll put them, I'll use my best judgment as to where they should go,
yeah,
and I'll show you where it is. Okay.
okay.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Works for me.
Okay.
Good.
Is that everything? Do I get a copy of your notes?
Yes, you will. You'll get a permit in the mail.
Excellent.
We don't need to vote or anything. I mean, this is just a discussion, yes?
You have to vote to approve the MBZA.
Oh, sorry, yes.
And technically the
With-
determination of
the-
applicability with a negative.
The mentioned
Okay, yeah.
conditions.
Oh,
Conditions,
yeah.
yeah.
This is, okay, all right. So I will take a motion to approve the MBZA with stated conditions and a negative determination.
And a negative determination.
Negative sounds
Geez, I'll
bad.
give you a motion to approve the minor buffer zone activity for 11 Mount Street
Oh, yeah, let me
with
get
a
that.
negative determination.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
That's good.
Vote to approve.
Approved.
Approve.
Approve.
Approve. Approve.
Approve?
Approved. Thank you.
All right, everyone, thank you for your time, I appreciate it.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Have a
I
good
hate
night.
that negative determination. I think it's so dumb, it's a dumb, don't even get me started.
Still haven't wrapped my
It's-
head
it's
around
so-
it.
It's so, it's just make it confusing for everybody. That's
Would
so-
you like me to explain it?
Please, okay,
Yeah,
please,
yes,
for the
please.
scouts, please,
So-
the negative determination,
me.
what the
An,
heck does
an
that say?
RDA is a request for determination of applicability. So by giving a negative determination, you're saying your determination is not, it's not applicable.
Right,
Where a positive determination is that the Wetlands Protection Act is applicable.
right, right. In other words, if you don't know and you have a project, but you wanna make sure, and you come to the commission and you present it, basically you're asking the commission, okay, is this something you guys are supposed to be looking at or controlling in some way or overseeing or no? And if you say no or negative determination, no, that means no, you're not, okay? So,
I still have a hard time wrapping my head around it.
That's okay. That's why you have me.
Is that because
Okay.
it's residential?
No, so an RDA can be for anything. It could be, for example, there are a myriad of buffer zone exemptions under the Wetlands Protection Act, but your bylaw doesn't acknowledge those exemptions. So myself, when I was consulting, I'd come in and I would play that card. Well, the Wetlands Protection Act says it's exempt, but your bylaw doesn't. Can we just have this as an RDA? It could also be work within water, within an actual wetland resource area, but for example, it's a tree removal. Probably doesn't qualify notice of intent, so you can file an RDA and the commission can make a determination that
Yeah.
we acknowledge this isn't a resource area, but it's not going to provide an adverse impact.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So just, I know we closed it, but just quickly, so the monitor we're doing is just as you said, some emails and pictures that you submitted. We're-
That's all.
we're good
Yeah.
with that, right?
Yep, just a pulse check-in.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, let's go on to the next MBZA is for 41 Hancock Road. Is there anyone here from Hancock Road?
Thanks for your time.
Sure.
I just have just bought this property. Both my neighbors have fences. I'm just installing a 5 foot tall chain link fence in the back, which is next to the wetland. So the conservation scientist was already there, and I can just follow the grass, where the grass ends, and install the fence. That was the preliminary determination. And I'm installing some fence in the front, but that has got nothing to do with the wetland, so I need the approval for that.
So basically, they have lawn up to the wetlands, or basically within, right? And that's, right, so
Yes.
basically, they're just trying to put a fence around the area.
Yes.
right?
So there's a brief little step off between the wetland and the grass, or the lawn anyways. So if the commission were to approve this, you would also approve a variance for work within the 25-foot. But it's very de minimis in nature. I mean, it's just
Well,
fence
yeah.
posts.
You got it at the top of the
Pre-disturbed.
slope, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
top of the little.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a generous term.
Yeah, that's the slope, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
The
Yeah,
steps.
oops, yeah.
Yeah, it's an oops, yeah.
What's the little blip for? You going around a tree or something?
Oh, that's at the gate,
Oh, that's the gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
just in case a frisbee goes.
Okay.
with the-
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, or football, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
whoops.
that's good thinking.
All right.
Okay. Standard conditions, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll take a
Recommend we
motion
approve.
to approve the MBZA with standard MBZA conditions.
I'll give you a motion to approve the MBZA 481 Hancock Road with standard MBZA conditions.
Second,
Okay,
approve.
approve,
Vote to approve.
approve,
Approve.
Approve.
okay, thank
Thanks
you,
for coming
There
in.
you
thank you.
Get the plan
You'll
ready.
get it in the mail. Yep.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, yes,
Lose myself. on
okay, okay, so Jeff is recusing.
Elm Street.
So the reason why Jeff is recusing himself, typically people do, is because either a project comes up and you are in a butter, which means you live next door to the person, they're your neighbor, or you have some sort of business connection to them, or some sort of other connection. So what you don't want there to be the appearance of a conflict between what you're trying to do with the commission and what you want to do with your personal life, basically, right? So conflict of interest. So we go out of our ways to try to avoid the appearance of conflict of interest. So if any of those things are true, we'll typically recuse ourselves and we won't sit in. So it's not just it's not just that you're not voting on something, you actually have to remove yourself from the discussion. So the way we do that is the person just leaves the chambers and waits until the end and then comes back, just so you understand what's going on. Okay, so 85 Elm Street. Is there anyone here from 85? Oh, hi, Mark.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Good evening. My name is Mark DePoto. I'm from Hillside Nurseries, Franklin.
Who, by the way, for the Scouts, was an excellent commissioner for many, many years. Yeah, she used to sit on this board, by the way. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm looking to do a project at 85 Elm Street. It's kind of unusual. There's an addition that was put onto the house. The property has been before the commission a few times. I believe there was an addition that was put on for the house, and then there was a shed at one time, and then there's a bridge that actually crosses. At the time, I guess it was deemed not a perennial stream, and that's where
It is now.
me and Brika had come out and taken a look at it. So this disturbed area there, there's like some, on that engineering drawing, there's it shows like a brick patio there. That doesn't exist. What does exist there is some pressure treated like railroad tie sort of steps that lead down to the bridge. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to work in just the pre-disturbed areas, not looking to take any vegetation out. We are looking to install some boulders to help secure the slope because the new addition is quite steep. The land really falls quite fast, but it's filled in with like 3/4 inch dense grade, so there's not like a lot of sediment that's eroding there, but it's starting. Like the smaller fines of the materials have started to gully a little bit, but it's largely made up with a lot of 3/4 inch stone, so it's locked in pretty good. But you know, as time goes on, all the rains we've been getting,
Yep.
it seems to be more intense. It's gonna get worse. Right now, we don't see a lot of sediment going down into that wetland or the stream area. And we're, again, not looking to disturb anything there. We're looking to start a boulder wall there, and the job would go pretty quick. We would come around the house and we would work up to where the little notation says boulders. And we would dig partially into that 3/4 dense grade, set the boulder, and then sort of work our way out. And then we're gonna eventually put some natural stone staircase there. While we're there, I was thinking we should probably take the downspouts and tie them together into 4-inch Schedule 40 and put them into like a leach pit underneath, maybe underneath the stairs or just beside it.
You don't have the big gully.
Yeah, we try to capture all that roof water
Yeah.
and try to
Yeah.
retard any more root erosion that's occurring. And then on top, I'd like to put some stepping stones. There's already like a pathway there with 3/4 dense grade. I'd like to top it off with some 3/4 inch stone, and not introduce any like little sedimentary type of aspects to it. Just to try to secure the slope, and try to improve it, get rid of the pressure treated timbers, get the roof into the ground.
Now, so,
There was I don't know if you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, on the second page, there was a negative determination for the bridge. So, everything was constructed and gone before,
so,
past commissions.
a question about the boulders. So, I totally understand what you guys were trying to do. My question is there any kind of, given what you have to work with there right now, is there any kind of plant material or something, maybe like a low plant or something like that you could throw
Oh, I'm
down?
sorry, I have about 30 native sedges that I was going to plant,
Ah,
where the boulders sort of meet a lot of times, in those sort of crevice areas,
Right.
and in between
Just
we
to
can.
sort of like lock it in? and just
Yeah,
keep
to help lock it in. So
Yeah.
if there's anything that would sort of come to where the two boulders would meet, that there was some vegetation there. I forgot to note that.
I'm just
yeah.
saying,
So
anything
you're
that
gonna
you just
fill
like
that, okay.
totally prevent, like, so it doesn't start washing around the boulders?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly, because the rain would hit the boulders, right, and that would accelerate
That's
some,
it, yeah.
some water, right?
So you get
But if we
grass
can get some
growing in there
vegetation.
and it locks it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we were walking across the bridge and all these boulders started to roll down. It's like-
I mean, right now, it's such a steep slope, it's unbelievable. Like, I actually really quite surprised that, there hasn't been any issues as far as erosion goes. So, I'm open if you want us to install like a straw wattle while we're there. I think that with the way I was gonna do it, I was gonna attack it, I was just gonna sort of work my way out and.
Well, okay, but, so, one of the questions, so, the stream, what is that stream? Does that stream lead to something? Does it lead to a major waterway?
It's a tributary off of, give me 1 second.
Shepherd's
I
Brook,
Just look, yes,
Shepherd's, okay.
which goes into the chop.
resident town.
Right, so that's,
Yes,
so I
thank you.
guess, so, obviously, I mean, what you're doing is great, but while you're doing the work, right, you'd want to try to prevent whatever you can of this silt going into the stream, if you could, right? Yes,
Yes,
yes?
and that's what I was saying, we'd be open, and I'm not looking to get into, any of the, native areas. We would be strictly
sure,
working
sure.
in the pre-disturbed.
Sure.
I'd be willing, we could put up a sock of some type.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Could you do that? Just
Yeah,
to- just
absolutely. Yep.
I'd rather do a sock than straw, especially because if seed heads get in.
Yeah,
And even though they say they're seed-free, they're never seed-free.
So sort of like the blown-in version of it.
Yeah.
But I think,
Or-
I think you can buy them.
Yeah, you can blow them in. You could do like mulch in it.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, burlap's a good idea. John actually brought it up in discussion a while ago that at his house he wraps burlap. I never thought of doing that.
oh, okay.
So like that's a cheaper alternative. I mean, it has holes, right? But
Yeah.
if you wrap it enough,
What's in between the burlap?
nothing. You
Oh,
just
just
Oh, just
you
roll
just
burlap.
roll it.
Roll up.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Neat,
And then what,
right?
you come up a bit on one end of it
Yeah.
and just tack it to your stakes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man,
And then you just watch it. I
'Cause
mean,
I
for
can buy
like
that
big
by-
construction, it's not
Well,
great,
no,
right?
I know,
But for
I mean, for a
residential,
little
Yeah.
job like this, that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
I
That's
could buy a
cheap.
big roll of that. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cheap.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
I've never seen that.
isn't that neat? And then you don't buy the silt fence, like you're not.
Why
flipping
not?
it
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well,
It's
what's the deal with that?
burlap.
Yeah.
Just trying to stop a little.
And then to take it apart after everything is secured, after things sort of, it would probably be less disturbance too.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Yeah, because it's not towed in or anything.
Right,
So are those
right.
generally trees between the boulders in this?
Yeah, so that's my rendering sort of concept plan that I took and married off of that architectural drawing. But yeah, that's all the sort of native trees that are growing there.
Got pretty good ground cover in there that.
Yeah, it's all like, yeah, it's quite thick.
Okay.
Yeah, so and that in itself is almost like a silt sock.
Right,
Right, right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Good.
Like it.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's good, it's fine.
Nice job.
Rico, do you have any other
We got people
things
trying to
around that?
improve things, that's
No,
good.
I think it's an overall improvement to what's
Yeah.
there.
Okay, yep, all right, so, go, give me a,
Give a motion to
Yeah.
approve the MBZA for 85 Elm Street
with standard conditions.
with standard conditions.
Second.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Approve,
Approve.
Approve.
approve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mark.
Have a
Thanks.
good night.
Good to see
Thanks,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the explanations.
Welcome
too. Thank
back.
you. Yeah. You do want to come back, don't you?
You look pretty full, though.
Well, we can always accommodate. Can someone tell Jeff that he can come back?
Oh, of course, we got another 30 days.
Okay. So, waiting for Jeff to come back.
We can count that thing in years now.
We're gonna call this Richard's project. That's gonna be the name now. Richard. Okay. All right.
Should have kept my mouth shut a long time.
Okay, now we move on to the next section in which we have business, which is the violations and enforcement section. And the first one up, which has been up many, many times before, is Prospect Street.
I have no
Oh.
update. So
Okay,
just
except
defer
for
to
the letter?
commission. No, this is actually still for the enforcement.
Oh, okay, oh, the enforcement's right,
Yeah.
okay, yes, okay. So,
Oh, so there's not, okay, well,
Oh, no, yours is on next.
Yeah, we won't miss that.
okay.
all right, so what do we want to do
With Prospect Street,
with Prospect?
update and refer. What's,
Well, what is there, I mean, what is there to do
What is
with
there to-
this anyway? I mean,
I mean,
I
You
mean-
just can continue it, you could take him to court, you could fine him,
oh geez.
you can do whatever you want. You could close it.
So if we continue it, do we have the never-ending saga? that is just like Union Street? It just keeps going on?
what is it, so my question is, what is the advantage of keeping it open?
Until the determination of DEP, until they make a movement on something.
Well, that's true, that's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
So there is an end goal, dissimilar to 305 Union where it needs to be picked up. I think the intent of this one is separate, it's different.
All right, so we should keep this open until DEP. I agree with that, I agree with that logic. Do you guys,
Yeah,
you guys agree with this logic? Okay, so,
Doesn't cost us anything to keep.
yeah, so, just, yeah, I'll take a motion.
I'll give you a motion to,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I did have one question. Did you
Yes.
want to update the dates for when he needs to install erosion controls? Would you like me to tell him he's past due?
yes,
An action actually would be good.
yes.
so they're not out there,
No,
okay.
What's to force him to do it? I mean, we told him
you fine him, you
a
take
month
him to
ago to do
court.
it, he's just not doing it.
So. No,
Okay,
I
wait,
mean,
wait, hold it,
so-
wait,
so
stop,
maybe-
stop, stop, wait. Oh,
Yeah, you need the, thank you.
What was the date in which he was supposed to have installed the erosion controls?
May 31st, and then I needed to inspect them by June 7th.
And they were, and they have been inspected?
They have not been installed, so no, nothing
Okay,
has happened.
all right, so nothing has happened. Okay, so if the fine, so can you fine him starting at the date which he was supposed to have them installed?
Yes, I believe so. I believe it can be backdated.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because that was when the violation, in this case, happened. Well, I for one would like to do that.
yeah, I think we have.
I think we should do
I
it.
mean, if you driven by this thing, all he's gotta do is put up a little bit.
Oh, I know. It's.
I mean, in
No.
2 hours with a
No.
couple, 3 guys out there, he could have the whole damn
No,
thing
what
done.
this is this. This is what this is.
I know,
Okay,
he's-
that's
he's
what
gonna-
this is, yes.
So is
So he's just being
That's
stuck.
not an official,
Has anybody been out there to see this site?
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Does it
I've
look
been-
like
I've
to
been there
me
too, I've
that-
been there.
It's just,
Yeah,
he's got a
Yeah.
roadway between two,
Yeah.
he's gotta put,
yeah,
and
yeah.
But isn't, gravity will bring everything towards Prospect Street. I don't see how it can go up where we live.
not going over the lip, it's
So-
going down the hill like this,
Yeah.
past Prospect Street down into the wetlands.
Right,
That's
down
all.
the
Where are we
wetlands.
asking
So Michael's
for-
right, but so to your point, it's going down Prospect Street and still entering a stream.
Right,
Yes,
so we're
So-
asking for, where are we asking for the
So
controls?
we had talked about controlling track out
right,
at the meeting,
Right.
so he either needs to put gravel or something there to stop that track out. And then there needed to be an erosion control at the back, because
Yep.
yes, there's a hill, but
Very low.
once it comes to the back, it slopes back down.
right.
And after conferring with DEP, they don't care if it's on Bellingham side or Franklin side, it's one parcel, one project.
Okay,
Right,
thank you.
Yeah,
Could I ask? And maybe we can't ask. Where is he with Bellingham? I know it has nothing to do with us, but
I
are we
don't know.
holding that side up also, or?
no, you're not, no. I don't know where he's at with Bellingham, I do know that he had until June to tell the courts what avenue he was going to do.
okay,
Separate to this enforcement order, but it's still related to this access drive, cause that's the previous project.
Right.
So, he had until June, which is what I was alluding to of keeping it
all right.
probably.
I want to make a comment for the, educational comment for the scouts. This is a very unique project, okay? Because you have a situation where you have a builder who's trying to construct on a parcel, but the parcel has the town border goes right through it, right? So basically, on one side is Bellingham, one side is Franklin. So you basically now have two conservation commissions to deal with, or at least the applicant does. So they basically have to suffice both commissions. Now, obviously, we can deal with what's on our side, okay? But what the DEP is saying is that it's one project, one site, right? So if there are things that are happening on the Bellingham side that might impact us, like say, a bunch of erosion coming into our wetlands, for example, that is something that we can then start to control. However, one caveat, legally, you have to be very, very, very careful about working with other towns, because you can't, although, yes, you have the same mission, you essentially pray to the same DEP god, obviously, yes, but you can't look like you're colluding with the other town against the applicant, right? So you can't like get a bunch of your buddies in conservation from another town and say, we don't like this guy, you should deny all of his projects. Then he can sue the towns and he can take the town to court and possibly even win, right? So you have to be very, very careful what you communicate and how you communicate to adjoining towns. Yes, you want to work with them, but you have to be very, very careful that it doesn't look like collusion.
So,
So-
oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, so procedurally, just curious about the fine.
Yep. Would you like me to read chapter
Yes.
181-3 enforcement?
Go ahead,
Pulled
go
up
ahead.
on my
Yeah,
laptop.
yeah.
Please.
Right there with you.
Okay, please, go. You're already there.
I was on there, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so, it's a page, you've heard me read longer, but chapter 181-11, sorry, enforcement. A, no person shall remove, fill, dredge, build upon, degrade, or otherwise alter resource areas protected by this chapter, or cause, suffer, or allow such activity, or leave in place unauthorized fill, or otherwise fail to restore illegally altered land to its original condition, or fail to comply with a permit or an enforcement order issued pursuant to this chapter. B, the commission, its agents, officers, and employees shall have authority to enter upon privately owned land for the purpose of performing their duties under this chapter, and may make or cause to be made such examinations, surveys, or sampling as the commission deems necessary, subject to the constitutions and laws of the United States and the Commonwealth. C, the commission shall have authority to enforce this chapter, its regulations and permits issued thereunder by violation notices, administrative orders, and the initiation of civil and criminal court actions. Any person who violates provisions of this chapter may be ordered to restore the property to its original condition and take other action deemed necessary to remedy such violations, or may be fined, or both. D, upon request of the commission, the town administrator and the town council shall take legal action for enforcement under civil law. Upon request of the commission, the chief of police shall take legal action for enforcement under criminal law. E, municipal boards and officers, including any police officer or other officer having police powers, shall have the authority to assist the commission in enforcement. F, in addition to any other remedies available under any law or this chapter, any person who violates any provision of this chapter, regulation, permit, or administrative order issued thereunder may be fined not more than $300 for each offense. Each day or portion thereof during which a violation continues or unauthorized fill or other alteration remains in place shall constitute a separate offense, and each provision of the chapter, regulations, permits, or administrative orders violated shall constitute a separate offense. G, in a specific case, the commission may issue citations pursuant to Mass General Law, C-40, Section 21D, under the non-criminal disposition procedure established in the town of Franklin. When so enforced, the penalties for wetland violations of any type described in this chapter shall be 1, first offense, $75, 2, second offense, $150, 3, third offense, $250, 4, all subsequent offenses, $300. H, the enforcing officers in the non-criminal disposition procedure shall be members of the Conservation Commission or its agents. So it's
Okay.
it's tiered,
Right.
yes.
So it basically starts at, again, if we're assuming that the date at which the work was supposed to be done, we start at that's day one.
Yep.
Okay, then basically what do we have in terms of, it's one instance over N days, yes? Correct?
Exactly.
So $750.
Is that what you're calculating?
Well, that's first offense, right? So or.
75.
Yeah,
75 for one.
times- 5 times 10 days.
But that's 10 days, you said the
Oh,
first day.
First day
First
is
day is
$75, the
Second day.
second is
Well, that's
150,
50,
Oh,
and
that's
then
what I was gonna ask.
third is 250,
So
and then
250,
300.
it's 300 after that. So
So-
basically, if you add all those days up, and then now are these business days or every day, like 7 days a week?
It doesn't speak to it. It just says each day.
Okay, well then we're gonna take that as calendar days.
I would assume it's calendar
Calendar
days.
days.
It's gonna amount to a serious amount of
If
Does
it-
anybody wanna make a calculation here? Let the number guy do it.
See if we can. So we got the first 3 days add up to $475, right?
Right,
And then that takes us to June 4th, and what's today,
27.
so we got 23 days at $300. We got $6,900 plus 475, we got $7,375.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
he kind of, told us what he's gonna do.
he's already given us the
Yeah, yeah.
Well-
appropriate solution.
Yeah.
So the enforcing officers in non-criminal disposition would be us. So are we going to
That's-
collect? That's my, Moose,
so
Rocco.
what I would
Let the judge get
suggest,
his checks.
given that it says upon request of the commission and town administrator and town council shall take legal action, I would suggest a letter addressed to Jamie Howland,
yeah,
and then CC Amy F., the
Yeah.
deputy director, and then Mark Sorrell.
okay.
DEP or?
Yep.
Um,
I don't think you need to include them right now, cause it's a local,
yeah.
right? It's,
Okay.
I mean, it's our,
That, just,
Right.
yep.
that's what I was like.
So we're gonna, put a letter in of our
Just
recommended.
a notice that we are recommending,
Yeah, if that's the action you wanna take, I would suggest a letter.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
not just,
right. Okay. It's on my list to do, action list.
But to be clear, this is regarding a road getting into property that he wants to do something with. So until this road goes forward, he's kind of dead in the water anyhow.
until the greater project goes forward, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's actually got one of those vacant lots there, he's got it all cleared out.
He sold that one.
Yeah, that's,
Oh,
it's not
yeah,
him.
that's
So
owned
he
by
doesn't
some,
own- I was thinking he could just drive in that way if he
That's
wanted.
not, that's not even his land anymore.
no.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was foolish.
Well, he may know the
Buy
guy.
it back.
And then there's the other access further up the road that is
Yeah.
still up.
Well, you closed that hearing, yeah, due to
Yep.
lack of information. I have the signature pages right here.
Yep.
So, yeah, I guess he can't get in there. Well, he can. He's got a D8 there. He can go anywhere he wants.
Okay, so letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the offense is not installing erosion controls, right? Okay.
I really don't understand why
Burlap's
the
cheap.
minimal amount of work he's gotta do, he's gonna make, it's just like Custer, he's gonna make you stand
Yeah.
right there.
Exactly.
It really
Yep.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's about it for Prospect Street.
Well, I don't know.
Might I suggest, only because the language in the enforcement order still has those dates, the commission adds something like you are going to continue it, or you're going to continue to wait for a response, or something to
Okay,
that
all right.
nature.
All right.
The
to
other
keep the
option there
enforcement
is to have him order to restore the property original condition. We're
Yes.
trying to stop erosion. I mean, regardless, he's probably not gonna pay the fine, he's probably not gonna put the controls in, right? So, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there that
I don't know how he would restore it to us. I mean, yeah,
you'd have to replan it.
yeah,
Good luck on
Well, I think, okay, just, you know.
that. I mean, you're right, 100% right, but we
Well, I mean,
saw him in here.
It becomes, you know, right, it becomes a matter of leverage. You know, we want us the property managed right? He's not gonna do that, so we're trying to use the tools. You know, I mean, he needs that access road to build those condos.
Right.
If he's ordered to restore that, he's got a little bit bigger problem, right?
Putting on my Mark Sorrell hat, might consider that a taking
Yep.
at this
I would-
point,
that would
because
be-
now you're,
Okay.
That would be a
because
taking.
if it is permittable
point.
and it goes forward, now you're,
Yes, that's
Good,
right.
good
Yeah.
point.
She's
Okay.
right.
but something perhaps to put on the back burner, depending on where the pieces fall in the future, right?
Yeah,
If that is no longer viable, well, something, it should be at least revegetated and for, at the very least for erosion
Right.
until he's ready to do something.
right.
Put turf grass on it at that point.
I mean, the house on either side of the driveway there would probably like to see a little grass in
Oh,
it.
yeah, the poor guy was here, it's driving
Yeah, I
him
mean,
nuts, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, all right, just different options.
yeah.
Is that a recommendation you put in a letter, that that's what you'd like to see? Or just, that does
Well,
not deal with
I think
enforcement?
at this point, especially with the direction from DEP, you know, the enforcement order was drafted for just erosion controls,
Right.
not restoration,
yes, yes.
because it's currently under
Yeah,
review.
that's a whole
Right,
different
right, okay,
ball of
okay.
wax.
Yep.
So,
Don't mix it, yep,
yeah,
keep it
that's
clean,
kind of,
right, okay. Now, for the
Well,
scout.
but I mean, I think it says restoration is a ramification of violation, right? So he's violated, so that, I mean, this lists that. I'm not recommending we do that because of the
understand.
taking, but,
yeah, no,
Right.
so the bylaw does speak to that, and so do enforcement orders. There's boxes you can check.
yeah.
But the only thing that we spoke to was erosion
Right,
controls.
okay.
right,
So
right.
that's what we have at
That's what
this
we have,
point.
yeah,
Got it,
okay.
got it. Okay.
So, for the scouts, do you want to describe what what we mean by a taking? What do we mean by that?
So a taking means unlawful acquisition or acquiring of property. So for example, I'll use one of my favorite stories from the town of Franklin. A couple years ago, the town of Franklin wanted to update their sewer, not as big of a project as what they're doing now. And so DPW just went in and they're just following the sewer line, and our town attorney got a phone call from the United States of America because the town of Franklin just dug their trench and laid the sewer in Army Corps property off of Mine Brook.
Like,
So
oops,
that's considered a taking. We, you
Yeah.
know, town of Franklin went in and said, nope, this is our property, and put their flag on it.
yeah, that's not, yeah, that was not a happy day.
Yeah, not a happy day.
Wait, what?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Colonel Bragg here to see, Jamie?
So I had a question.
Yep.
When we went to the site visit, at the end of the access road, the property owner, if you're looking at the field across the way, the property owner on the left, their property was being eroded by all of this. Is there any way that we can move swift? I mean, I'm sure that homeowner is not appreciating what's going on to their property.
But that's gonna be between the homeowner and the applicant.
Yeah, at that point, it's
It's
more of a
legal.
civil.
It's
yeah,
civil, yeah, civil
Yeah.
between them, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We could do
So.
That's precisely why I just don't get this guy.
No, I know,
I mean,
no, it's dumb.
it's a nickel dime thing.
I know, it's totally dumb.
is, right?
It's really dumb, no. Just to make a point, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put this finger in your eye. That's what it is.
He did.
So
Okay.
language on the enforcement order, sorry, not to be a broken
Yeah.
wheel. So do you have a recommendation of how you would like me to update that?
So we
Because
have to
what it
extend it
reads,
too, right?
yeah, you would have to, I would extend it and keep it open if you're choosing to fine.
Rich is good at that.
Another 30 days?
Can I just ask one question?
Sure.
So, I remember some of that discussion we had, and his contention was that there's no way there can be a buffer zone in that area because there's 200 feet of road footage for that house we were just talking about. So, have we definitely confirmed that there is buffer zone there, so we have jurisdiction?
Yep, so we measured the maps, the wetland curves around behind the property, so
Yeah.
it was a really good magic trick.
Okay.
But the wetland curves around the property,
Yeah.
right? And
You
then
can see it flagged, actually, yeah.
in general,
Good.
the commission, buffer zone's a resource area too, so for something that's egregious land alteration, you can, within reason, push your jurisdiction out because it's impacting
Right,
regardless.
exactly.
So,
I wanna make sure.
Yep.
That's right.
But wasn't it kind of a deal where his point of reference was he was comparing the road frontage to that distance, but he was misstating the road frontage?
Yes.
I think was kind of the way he misscaled it.
Yeah, he said like 200 feet.
Yeah,
200 feet.
yeah, yeah, but no, yeah.
No, he was
That's a
smoking
whole
something.
yard. You sure that's not, looks like 200 feet to me.
that may be true, but wetlands wetlands
maybe
are
that
not
was the
square,
deal.
so
Alright.
the postage stamp lot is right here and the wetland curves up
That's
behind.
right,
exactly,
And
yeah.
then it extends,
Yes.
and then regardless, that track out from the road is following a defined channel,
Yeah.
and then we have documentation, actually going back to December of deposition within that stream.
It's a good question, Michael. I mean,
Thank you.
it was.
Just want to make sure we have a sound.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I
100%.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so extend for 30 days?
Extend for 30 days.
Yeah,
Would you like me to include a language in there that he would need to respond back to the
Hey, you
letter?
can say it.
Yeah.
yes,
And then perhaps what I would recommend is using past tense then, so erosion control should have been
Yes,
installed. and
yes.
Then that way it's still.
as
the
of
language
that
could-
date,
Perfect.
yes,
Okay, I will
Right.
do so.
right, yes. Okay,
Okay, I'll
Very
give you a
good.
motion.
good,
Wow.
yes,
I'll give you a motion to extend the violation and enforcement for Prospect Street
Second
for
that?
another 30 days.
right,
Yep.
Are
yes.
we updating it as well?
Yes.
With the recommended updates.
With the recommended
Updates,
updates.
yes,
Good.
okay, yes,
Vote to
Second.
extend.
yes.
Extend.
Vote to extend.
Extend,
Extend.
Extend.
Extend?
okay, good,
How long are we extending?
okay.
30. It's always 30.
We're
Can't
gonna
get
re-
more than 30.
We're gonna make a movie on this.
Yes, we are.
Okay, it's gonna be like the mystery murder movie of the week, I don't know.
One of these days it'll go away. You're gonna have to sell that place and then we can get out of there.
Yeah, okay,
So,
okay, we're almost done. 305 Union Street,
I'll give you a motion to extend the enforcement order for the violations and enforcement of 305 Union Street for another 30 days.
Second.
Okay.
Vote to extend.
Extend.
Vote to extend.
extend,
Extend.
Extend.
Extend?
okay, extended,
A month goes
Okay.
by.
okay, and lastly, we have minutes. I read through the minutes, I did not see any changes. Everybody?
Good?
We're good.
Good. All right, take a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll give you a motion to approve the minutes for June 13th, 2024.
Second that?
Okay.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
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 Approve, okay. Now we have a few really quick things, some discussions.
No updates. Oh, there's
Okay.
one MACC.
We have no update for Friends of Franklin Liaison. We have no update for the master plan.
Well, actually, we
Sorry.
might.
Oh, do we?
We might. Sorry, I'm surprising you.
All right, well, this is a good.
I didn't know you would be here. No, don't apologize.
Okay, so Friends of Franklin,
Hi,
hi.
sorry, I'm Kayla.
Okay, Lynn.
Can you just walk up to the mic, because otherwise the stenographer won't
Yeah.
be able to tell you.
Or you can sit there if you want.
Yeah, you can sit there, too. Either way.
Would you like me to introduce yourself?
I'm Michaela Thomas. I'm almost graduate of UMass Boston in environmental science.
All right.
Okay.
She's been, for the summer, she's gonna help with Friends of Franklin Conservation.
Okay.
So it's environmental science, right?
Yeah.
So she's volunteering with FFC, and she's been working very diligently at our turtle habitat, pulling all the weeds there.
Pulling weeds.
Site work.
Do
It's
we have
site
turtles
plan
yet?
and invasive species management. These are all things you can put on your resume. They'll
Oh,
eat it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So then, hopefully later this summer, she'll get some stakeholder work and engagement with like an event at the turtle habitat or the farmers market, which I know I owe you a phone call. I'm sorry, probably pushed it tomorrow. So we'll coordinate on that, and then I'm hoping later this summer we can get in for some planting, so then she can get some native plant work.
Okay.
Great.
So, yes.
Congratulations.
Sorry to surprise you like that.
But thank you.
Glad to have you with us.
You know, if the scouts have any kind of service projects or any service hours,
Yep, so that was gonna
That'll
be
be-
Nicole's segue, so I'm really glad you brought that up, that's good. It's all planned.
Well, Michaela, she's been working very hard, but she could use a lot of help out at the turtle conservation area. So she wanted to extend an invitation to the scouts to see if they would like to come out and try to pitch in and take care of some of the plants and the removal. She's full of a lot of knowledge, so be some things you could learn.
yeah, environmental science is still required for Eagle, right?
Put a thought on that.
Good pickup, Michael. That was good.
That's it. Okay, so
Yep.
so master plan liaison, no updates?
I got
No?
nothing.
Okay, natural resource protection manager person?
I put no update, but I guess the concrete hatchery's out at Delcart.
It is?
It's squashed, oh yeah, it came
Oh,
down in
good.
30 seconds.
Hooray.
So,
Hooray.
I was told to say that the water and sewer department did it. They're the ones that
Okay.
are taking
Thank you
credit
very
for it.
much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So that's all I have.
Good, okay, that's great. MAC update, the only thing I have is, I keep being pestered for talks and topics for the big meeting that's happening in November. So if anybody has any ideas, I think we have about 26, 27 submittals, but we need more. So if anybody has something that's near and dear, remember the topic is water, water everywhere, which is timely. Okay, right? So anything about water or related to water in some way, if you guys want to hear something on it, or you want to present on something on it, please let me know, and I will send it up the chain to the MAC group. Because I'm actually sitting on the subcommittee, of which there are many, many subcommittees for to make the annual meeting run.
Maybe leave something on the changing weather patterns in New England. Oh,
So
sorry.
no, it's okay. So I submitted our proposal last week.
Okay.
I know proposals closed on Monday.
Yep.
But if you're still seeking them,
Yep.
I have been trying to rope in Derek.
Okay.
He's a little
They are-
slippery
they are.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they close them, but
Yeah.
they still need more.
But Derek and I are spending the majority of tomorrow together, so I was gonna bring it back up to him,
Right.
because then we could talk about, him being the stormwater superintendent, and he could
Yeah.
talk about fees, things like that, a lot of the retrofits that they're doing, tree wells, things
Yeah,
like that
all
nature.
that's, yeah,
So
Yeah.
if, I don't think, I can't submit another proposal, but if you wanted to bring that back. we
yeah, I
would-
will.
We would
I'll do that.
be willing to do that.
I'll
I
do
can
that,
send you an
yeah.
email too, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah. I'll send it directly to Michelle.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you propose talking about beaver deceivers at all?
So I did include it as a footnote in the proposal. My hesitance of presenting on that is we only have one in town. They can only be installed a certain time during the day, so while we permitted for some this past winter, we can't install them until after August. We have a very short window because they're pupping.
Right,
And then it's
I
just
remember that, yep.
infeasible to install them in winter. So you have to wait outside their pupping season. So I thought that would be a strong proposal, but because we only have one, it doesn't show market success yet.
Yes.
So, and to be honest, like Needham and Dover and everywhere else has a million of them. They have a much
Oh,
stronger
yeah.
proposal
There you
if
go.
they wanted to do it.
And then they can
versus
basically
us.
tell you how they're working on average.
Exactly,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So
They have a population,
we just need
Yes.
to get a little bit further in the
right.
way.
All right, and we have nothing for the WWA.
CRWA, no, I don't have any.
Okay. I have one last small thing. Okay, I just wanted, this is a note. A request. So, first of all, I want to thank anyone on the commission who is making attempts at going out and visit and walking sites, bringing that information back to us. As you know, we do have that right, written into the bylaws, written into the documents when they're filed. That is a right that we are given to do. One of the things that we had discussed about this going on, especially since we have very limited staff, i.e. one person, my big concern is safety. Because sometimes we aren't necessarily, the commission is not necessarily on the best terms, for whatever reason, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so safety is one, and two is just communication. So my request to everybody here is, if you're going to do that, could you please call in and just let the office know you're planning to do that, so they know you are going out. So if you, by any chance, don't come back, we
Step on
at
a
least
nail.
know where to send someone, okay? Right? Yeah, so, and also the other thing, is that, there might be some brand new information, there might even be some political information between abutters that the person going out might not know yet about. And so if you check in with the office first, you'll get whatever's latest going on. So it's just a good practice to have, in my opinion. So I'm just asking people, please, just let the office know first before you go to a site. Just in case. And also, one of the things I don't want to have happen is Bree to get calls suddenly about what's going on, are these people on my thing, and she has no idea what's going on. That's really not fair to her, right? So again, just communication and safety, if you will, please. And I'll take any comments about that.
Actually, thank you for that. I just had a stimulating thought. Could you just let me know like 24 hours in advance?
Okay, 24 hours in advance, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Is that okay?
Particularly if it's a resident or something.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to be
yeah,
very,
exactly.
very
Sure, yeah.
And
I
then
mean,
I
is
can
that-
also
thoughtful
Join
about
you.
driving in and saying,
I can also join
Hey,
you if you
I'm
give
out
me
in your
enough
backyard.
Okay, yeah,
notice.
then if
Roofs
she knows,
around.
yeah, then
Yeah.
if she
You
knows.
could
that
get
she's-
shot.
right. Okay, that's all I'm asking. If you guys can just please do that. All right?
Yeah.
Good?
Would it make sense to have like a conservation commission vest or something?
We talked about that. We talked about having like a little like.
Seriously, I mean, who's
we-
this person?
Well, no, we actually talked about having like little, like, one of those little, like, light vesting things where you had like a little.
I have plenty of high vis vests. I can order you new vests. And
I want, like, the
this
little
is more
patches.
administrative than anything. I would suggest
Oh,
doing that
badge.
instead of getting something embroidered because Amy F's going and redoing all the marketing,
Oh, okay.
rebranding,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Okay,
I would suggest something more temporary than
Yep.
something
She
broader.
says, okay.
okay.
So
Yeah.
you have vests?
I have high visibility vests, yeah. You can always get them from DPW.
Like a little pin, maybe like a little pin, like a little pin.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah,
Like a,
conservation.
like a bright yellow jackets going on forever, and vests. You know, like, got construction company, got
Right,
symbols on them,
right,
but
yeah.
Well, I purchased a 11-inch vinyl, and I put it on my duck canvas vest, my field vest, so it's always on my back so people know who I am.
Ah, okay.
give them a target.
I'm always a target, I'm in conservation.
Thank you, Richard.
So, it's fine.
Well, you know, some
God.
people,
It's so, these meetings are so light and cheerful. Okay.
takes all kind of people to make the world go round.
Yes, okay, yeah, no kidding, okay.
It's very philosophical.
Okay, so unless anyone has anything else, I think we've come to the end of the meeting.
I think so.
We're good? Do we want to vote to close the meeting?
I make a motion that we vote to close.
Second that?
Vote to
Adjourn,
close.
adjourn, vote to adjourn, adjourn, adjourn.
Close.
Adjourn,
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 adjourn.
closed, whatever.
Adjourn, okay, we are adjourned.